Tyler, the Creator, just dropped a surprise album this past week called Don't Tap the Glass. And this one was released more as a fun album, as opposed to like a concept or something more deep. It's more just a fun type of thing, basically. And after a first listen, I can say it is a solid album for what it is. Now, I am not really a dance person. Like, disco is probably my second least favorite type of music. First is post-2001 country music. Other than that, it was an alright album. And I will say I did prefer the instrumentals on Chromacopia a lot more, but it wasn't a bad experience to sit down for, 28 minutes? So we are going to do the track by track and discuss it a bit more, and I will give you two different scoring. We start out really strong with the opening track, Big Poe, and I love the energy that it brought. Like, the weird, like, robotic type of, like, introduction with the voice, and then all of a sudden just blasting into it. It's so cool. It was really enjoyable, I will say. Now, Sugar on My Tongue, you could tell me that it featured, Damon Albarn. You could tell me it featured the Gorillaz, and I would have 100% believed you, because that's exactly what this felt like. It felt like something I listened to on, the Now Now album. I forget what it's called. I think it's called, like, Trance or whatever. It was on that album, and it was, like, almost the exact type of tempo. I'm not going to say beat, because it wasn't the same beat. It was more the same tempo, and, like, the style was more of, like, an electronic dance feel. So that's exactly what I got from it. And while it is not my favorite song on the album, it's not a bad one by any means. And it keeps this dancey feel with it, and it keeps the beat moving. That's what I like. Nothing felt like it was dragging along or doing too much. It does what it needs to do, and it gets the job done. Sucker Free has to be one of my favorites off of the album. And not only does it keep the dance vibe, which is interesting, but it also mellows out a bit more. And I do like a lot more mellow songs, surprisingly, even though if you look at my TikTok, you see all the stuff I post, you see it's like Patty Riley, the Pepsi Man, country song from the 80s, and then Los Crudos, 1990s, like hardcore punk album. So yeah, I do kind of like mellow music from time to time, and this one really did stand out to me, and it reminded me of something off of Chromacopia with the momentum that it had. And it really blended well. Like, it's really nice. I will talk about this in a second as well. Mom and Them is more of an interlude, so it's like not really as important, I would say. Like, it's not a full song, it's like a minute 15. But I feel like it is lacking percussion, and it is alright overall. It is more dark, I will say. It's like, it feels like it's leaning a bit more towards the eerie side than the dance side, but it was cool. Stop Playing With Me bounces back well from this and turns that dark feeling from Mom and Them into a more electronic dancey feel, and it's more of like an undergroundish kind of thing. I don't know how to explain it other than that. I will say I prefer the vocals more than the instrumental on the track, but it was good. I just personally was not a fan of it. Ring 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 seems to be the one that a lot of people like the most off of this. This is one of the bigger ones off of it. But again, it feels a bit too much disco for me, and it's just not my style. Don't Tap That Glass and Tweakin' is next, and honestly, this one threw me off. Tyler has a, I don't know if it's like a little shtick or it's something he does with a lot of albums where it's like you'll see 2 or 3 songs with that slash in them. But this is like a 2-part song, and this isn't the first time this has been done in the music world. It's very difficult to find ones that are like specifically this, but I would say the first people to do this are Pink Floyd, surprisingly, that I can think of upside my head. Because it's like, if you go back, you can go back to Wish You Were Here with Shine On You Crazy Diamonds. It's like parts 1 through 5 and then 5 through 9. It's like you get the idea of that. But even going back further, for one big song, which is Adam Hart and Mother, the Adam Hart and Mother Suite, that is actually broken up into, I think, 5 or 6 different parts within that 20-something minute song. So, not new, but it is an interesting thing. Even Twisted has done it, but more of in like a hidden track type of thing. With, I think that's why they All Hate Us More Than You'll Ever Know. And then at the end of it, they did the 2017, like I call it the reprise of How Does It Feel, where it picks up from where the verse cut off and gives you 2 new verses while it cuts off at the end of that one. So, it's still new, but I dig the first half of it, the Don't Tap That Glass. I love it, it was awesome, but I hate the tweaking half. I just don't like it. The DTTG section does remind me of Jet Set Radio Future. A lot of the stuff in here does in a way, like it has that like weird, like, oh, it could be in there if you really put it in there, but this feels like it could be a Jet Set Radio Future track. The tweaking just seems like it could have been like an interlude track, kind of like Mom and Them. It just kind of sours the track for me, personally. Don't You Worry Baby is an alright track. More of the mellow stuff, which is nice. I will say that. It is nice. But it was not a standout track for me. It was more of just, it's there. Same with the next one, which is I'll Take Care of You. It's more of another filler track. I hate that I'm saying filler, because it makes it sound like I'm discrediting the track, but that's what it is to me when I see it. Like, it's not bad, but it's not really memorable. And thankfully it does end really good with Tell Me What It Is. And I will say, best option for a closing song, hands down, and it did stand out to me. The vocals and the beat match perfect, and it was a very nice listen overall. Now we're on to the scoring section. If you know from the past, we are going to give the ear appeal score now. The ear appeal score, I gotta give it a 5. I gotta give it a 5, unfortunately. It was a decent listen overall, but I don't really see myself coming back to this album many more times in the next few months. Like, I've even revisited Chromacopia a bit more than this, which is crazy. Obviously, that one's been out longer, but you get the idea. It's like, I'm still coming back to that almost a year after, and I'm like, I don't really see myself sitting through another 28 minutes of it. It's just not for me. While the production and the mixing is done very well, and one thing I did want to talk about is, like it says, don't tap the glass, like there was like rules and all that stuff on the website, and it seemed like it was one that you could listen to the full way through without pausing, kind of like, again, Pink Floyd. I hate that I had to use them as an example, but they did so much crazy shit that it's like kind of revolutionary in a way. Like, it's like you gotta use it as an example because they did it the best. With Dark Side of the Moon, it's basically 2 big tracks. It's crazy how it is. It's like first 5, second 5, and it's like perfect tracks. Like you play them from start to finish. That's what this felt like. There were some parts where it kind of did feel like it did start a new track, but then at the same time there were some where it did blend in really well. But still, at the end of the day, it's a 5 for me. Now we're putting into consideration the packaging. I started doing this, I think, at the end of Season 1 of album reviews, beginning of Season 2, because I noticed that I'm like, it's like, what am I giving the extra score for? But the extra score here, it's like, I gotta go with the packaging, because I think for a lot of people, that is one of the most important things, and a lot of artists are now getting their fans back into physical media, and I think that is important, so we're gonna talk about it. And unfortunately, it sucks on this one. The trend of having clear or no artwork in this album, to me, is very lazy, kind of like the Lorde new album she put out with that clear disc controversy. At least for that one, there was some artwork in it, but you get the idea. It was lazy, it was boring looking, and it's just like, what are we doing? For the vinyl, and these are like test pressings, so it is interesting that we are getting these test pressing type things. I think another rap group that just did it recently for their upcoming album is Joey Valance and Bray. They're like a newer duo on the scene. They did like a test pressing thing. It seems to be more of a gimmick going along for like a first release of an album where it's like rough mixes, like unmixed, etc. Like, it's early stuff that's not the final outcome that you would see on streaming services. Unfortunately, I don't like that they're coming out first. I think personally they should be something that comes out as an anniversary or like a record store day type of release. It's like an extra type of thing. This one, it is a clear record for Don't Tap the Glass. The clear record, which, you know how I feel on those, it's like, it's interesting. It's like, you did something, like, clap your hands, good job, but like, the laziest type of color vinyl. Like, I will say, Target has some of the better color variants that I've had recently. I just got 2 from there the other day. I don't know, clear, it's like you couldn't have done anything more. You couldn't have added a splatter in there, just something to make it interesting. And unfortunately, it is in a plastic sleeve. This new album is in a plastic sleeve. It's not even in a cardboard sleeve. It's not in a jacket. Oh my lordy Lou. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at your average picture disc. It's what's sleeved in. It's what it's sleeved in. It's a picture disc sleeve that are known, I think I've talked about this before, but they are known for ruining the record. They're known for staining and hazing the record and basically leaving a noise and ruining your records. And it's like, I've even gone to the record store, like you see some from the 80s that are like, it looks like they're like melted to it. It's like, oh my god, it's nasty looking. And I'm currently in the process of moving a lot of my picture discs over to that. Thankfully, I keep mine like in a temperature controlled environment and I keep them really well like managed, so I can kind of, I don't think any of mine are so far gone or bad in any way, but worst possible. I will say, thankfully, the saving grace for any of this is it looks like the artwork on the front, it's like the photo of Tyler, and it's like, he looks crazy looking or whatever the hell. That's not printed on the jewel case, and that's not printed on the plastic sleeve. That is an actual sheet inside the record and CD. It's a bit more flimsy in the CD, but apparently the record version, it's very thick plastic. Like, it's heavy duty, so I'm like, you got a good one, but it could scratch the record. So what I would highly recommend is just to get you just a basic jacket, whatever, just a generic one. Pretty sure if you go to the record store, honestly, you could go to the record store, you can find an old school rap single for like $1 or $2 and swap the sleeves on it. So that way you have like a solid cardboard jacket. Do that and put the stuff in, do all your things. And the barcode also on the back of it does appear to be just a sticker, so that's good. And there was a special edition to the CD where it came in this like silver looking display box with windows, obviously for Don't Tap the Glass. But I've seen about 3 of these now where the box just came in completely crushed and ruined. One of them actually had the CD busted, but mostly it's just the box was just so ruined because it is cardboard. It just seems lazy. And I've even seen records from people with the strange noise, the hazing, people getting them very warped. One of them actually got broken in half. So, because apparently, like, the shipping was just shit, from what I've heard. So, not a good release with this album, it seems. It's like, obviously, the people that got it imperfect, I am so happy for you. But it seemed like, overall, this just seems very sloppily thrown together. I will say that 100% very poor execution on this idea. And honestly, I am going to give the overall score a 6. It's not going up by much. Even that 6 was tough. I was even thinking on keeping it at 5. But I do like the artwork of Tyler. And it is a interesting looking thing. But like, I can't give it more than a 6. What are your thoughts on the album? And if you got any sort of the physical version of it, how does it sound? Did the record come in okay? And I know there is a bonus track, and I think it's on the CD and the record. How does that sound? I'm not putting it in here because I don't have the physical, so I'm not going to review what I don't have or am able to get. So, thank you everyone for tuning in. I will see you in the next one, and take care.